How cute is this? Oh my god, so pretty. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Quick log before I forget. I just went to art house project Gokkaisha, which was 2 rooms. One was just filled with flowers and the other one was empty. I think it's meant to be a contrast. One space is filled with his sculptures and another space only presents kekai, which is an object to define boundary. So that was pretty interesting. Basically, these art house projects, I think it's just like old houses that have now been renovated into art spaces. And the second one I saw was kadoya. In one of the rooms, there was an old artwork, like 200 years old. The artist painted over it in like a very contemporary way. So he painted LED numbers over it. And the second room was a pool and it had 125 digital LED counters in the water. There was also a window with a counter on it as well. And I don't know how the number kept changing, but as it would change, the light would come in a different way, and it was really cool. And now I'm going to Art House Project Kinza. Not too sure what that one is, to be honest. It was just the one that you have to book in advance. Oh, and I'm most excited for the James Turrell one because I love his work. We are trying to find Yayoi Kusama's yellow pumpkin. I think if we just keep going down this road, we'll find it. Art House Kinza was a bit confusing. I didn't really know what I was looking at. And I asked the lady, like, oh, what does it mean? They wanted to know the artist's intention. And she was like, the meaning hasn't been decided yet. You take away from it, like, however you feel. But I don't know how I felt. I was a bit scared, to be honest. It was in, like, this hut thing. And there was, like, a giant round plate on the ground. And there were glass balls scattered on the ground as well. And a random, like, wooden stick. And then some string hanging from the ceiling. I also went to a James Turrell one, which was really, really cool. You go in and it's like pitch black and you've got to put your hand on the wall to know where you're going. Literally can't see anything. But after 5-10 minutes, your eyes start adjusting and you see like this screen, almost like you're in a cinema. And then it like starts to get slightly brighter, but you still can't see the rest of the room. It's all pitch black. And then they let you get up and walk towards it. And it kind of looked a bit creepy because everyone stood up at the same time and started walking towards. And the only light source is coming from the screen. But as you get closer, you realize it's a freaking hole in the wall and it looks like foggy. I don't know if there is actually fog or if it's just the way that he's played with light. Kind of reminds me of the James Turrell in Tasmania, except opposite. The Tasmania one was colored light and you couldn't see the edge of the wall because of the way the light was placed. This one was like darkness, complete pitch black. And then like as you're walking out, you can kind of see where you're going because your eyes have just adjusted to the darkness, which is very interesting. But like the whole time I was in there, being in a pitch black room was kind of scary because it's like I could close my eyes or I could leave them open. It doesn't matter. I'm looking at the same thing. It's a little bit suffocating, and because I don't know anyone around me either, it feels a bit scary, especially when everyone started walking towards the front of the room, towards the screen. That was fucking terrifying because you have to like be absolutely quiet. It was dead silent, no lights, just the screen, and you could like see the shadows of people walking towards the screen, like they were possessed. And then I went to Go-O Shrine. It had a glass staircase. The glass was carved in a way that kind of looked like ice blocks. There's a second part to that art house and it's like this little corridor. I was like, this is like the entrance into Brandy Melville. It's like this little corridor and you have to squeeze through. And when I went, there was no one there. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna film a funny little TikTok. I'm gonna be like, oh, entrance into Brandy Melville, and like do one of these ones. And so I spent like 15-20 minutes like filming, and then as I was leaving, I realized that everyone was lining up outside. There was a line that formed because I took so long, and because you can only have one person in there at a time. The last one I went to was, actually no, there was 2 more. One of them was this preserved house, so it still had artworks and stuff in it, and it just looked like a living space. And the other one was an old dentist, so it used to be like the local dentist, and the artist made the space into sort of like a journal of traveling. He had scraps all on the ground, so like clippings from newspapers of like Hong Kong, business cards from like London, Hawaii, and then there was also a giant Statue of Liberty thing, postcards of Statue of Liberty. It was pretty cool. And the building, it's still preserved from when it was a dentist. So outside it still had tiles with like teeth in it. Not teeth, like drawings of teeth. And then I rode down and saw Yayoi Kusama's yellow pumpkin, and now I made it back up to the art house area, just taking a little break, and then I'm gonna go back to the port, I think, and just like see what's around there. And then tomorrow I'm gonna do like the whole art museum side. I swear they have these chairs at the Art Gallery of New South Wales. You know, I'm curious if it's hot. Oh, surprisingly it's not. I'm at Valley Gallery, which is an outdoor art installation by Yayoi Kusama, and it's just all these giant balls, and it reminds me of her other work that we've seen at Summit 1 with the reflective mercury and giant balls. Was that her? Lemon sorbet and lemon cheesecake and lemon jam. Ooh, the cheesecake is like flaky. This is so vibes. That is just so high, baby. It's so cute. I don't want to. High key, I think being able to drive has made me a better cyclist. Anyway, it's time to go and park the bike. Bike parking. Wow, that's literally like peach candy. It's insane. The juice is insane.